Hello everyone and welcome back to Cruel and Unusual Storytime with your host, Simon Dexter, and we are returning to our read of Happy Appy. Before I get in, I must say I'm a little annoyed with myself because I was supposed to be reading the true version the entire time, but apparently when I started reading last time I didn't actually click the link, so I didn't get to the true version, and I just decided to glance over what's different with this and the true version, by the looks of it, is written a little better. I doubt it actually is better. But oh well, I've already started this version, and if there's a true version, maybe that should be the only version. So I'm assuming that's your own fault, Mr. Writer. So we're just going to continue our read. And if you need a quick recap, stupid fake show, really oddly violent, even though it's on Nickelodeon. People seem to think production companies are stupid and think that they would let stuff like that on TV. Turns out the thing on the TV show is real, etc., etc., etc. Okay, moving on. March 3rd, 2011. Hey, I wanted to know if anyone has any Happy Appy videos. Special twist, there isn't any because it doesn't exist. If you do, send me the link to one. What happened to my discs, you ask? Well, I found them in pieces, like a claw slashed them in thirds. Along with a note saying, no more evidence now, huh? I'm glad I'm reading this version. I'm glad this version is coming to light. This is your own punishment. March 4th, 2011. I finally got my Happy Appy badge today. It came in a box that had a timestamp from 1999 to 2000. Okay, that makes sense. That's when the show was going. When I opened it, I got a letter from Happy Appy and the badge. The badge was Happy Appy smiling, but not with the death stare. On the back said, Happy Appy Helper Badge. Whew, try saying that 5 times fast. Happy Appy Helper Badge. Happy Appy Helper Badge. Ugh. I decided to read the letter. I'm pretty sure you had no choice but to read the letter, since that's kind of why you wanted it in the first place, I'm assuming. Just me, though. To my friend, you have helped us help the Japanese. Of course, let me introduce myself. Unarguably, you have heard of me on Nick Jr. Yeah, because, like, little kid would totally understand the word unarguably. Can't understand? Well, I'll give you the answer. Happy Appy App. Happy Appy. Oh, he's singing the song, and I'm not going to sing along because I don't care this time. Now, where do I start with my gifts? Today, I have given you a nice badge right from the playground. How did we get... Oh, this is weird. It's too long for the... How did we get these, you ask? Running across the playground, I tripped on a rock. I fell, and I noticed the ground was uneven. Undoubtedly, something was there, so I dug the ground up, and there was a crate of something, because this won't scroll. I'm assuming it's badges. Scroll. Crate of thousands of these badges. Now it's time to be off. See me on my next adventure. Love, Happy Appy. Wow, that was all nonsensical. Sorry you had to listen to me scroll, stupid thing wouldn't go. But, this is hurting me at a deep level. March 5th, 2011. These are all rather short, which is good, because we have a lot to go. Today I got an email, not a email, from a man who claims to be a user of WikiLeaks. He heard about my conquest to find Happy Appy, so he tried to find any documents related to me. Okay, so, wait. I don't know. He did find one which told employees to never air certain TV shows or movies. After browsing through the big description of Crybaby Lane and other shows, I found this text. I've never heard of Crybaby Lane. Is that another creepypasta show, or is that just really another show they can't air anymore? Found this text. One show originally named Happy Appy was cancelled due to blood and gore. The original show depicted an apple named Happy Appy that taught kids how to handle certain injuries. Who would actually make a show based around injuries? That seems weird. Is there one? I don't think there's one. So that's just a dumb premise to begin with. On their final and only 8th episode, even though they're technically 10th, but a few of them were unwatchable, it was only 2 hours when Noggin removed all traces of the show happening. 2001 reports say the episode seemed to depict happenings of 9/11, even though the episode was shown in 1999. I'm getting more suspicious. I hate this story. June 6th, 2011. Oh, we skipped a few months. Ah, crap. I've been having nightmares of Happy since my last post 3 months ago. No, shit. The dreams range from Happy's smile to him brutally murdering a kid. Also about the mysterious figure I've been seeing him more. Now, the mysterious figure, I've been seeing him more, whether he's sitting on a mountain or standing in a forest. Or bathing in the Sahara Desert, or swimming the mighty Atlantic Sea. Thought I'd throw those in, since he's putting them in really weird places. The figure never seems to leave me. Also, I've seen more of him to tell you more about his physical features. First off, he is in the shadow, because he has some sort of face, with a mouth, and a nose, and eyes, and hair, and ears, and they call him Buddy. Sorry, his description in this version is just really bad. However, the mouth seems to be locked on one expression, Happy's death stare. I wonder if he's happy. But more about his body. He's slightly taller than me. I'm 6'2", and I bet buff with a hung-ass dick. I'm very sorry to my younger viewers for that particular description. I'm just not a big fan of his descriptions, as you can probably tell by now. And it seems to be about mid-weight for his height. I boarded up my house because he obviously wants to kill me. We all pray he manages to succeed. I'm at the local... June 11th, 2011. I'm at the local elementary school. The only place nearest here where he won't find me. And also has a computer. Do you not have a computer? It's 2011, for God's sake. I should take that back. That's insensitive. I know that some people don't have computers, but... I don't know. I'm making fun of him since he's having this stupid blog anyway. It's been 5 days since my last encounter with him, and my house is gone. Burnt to a crisp. Where the fuck did this come from? The strange thing is, no one seems to notice. It's like it never happened, or worse, like the house never existed. Yay, paranormal stuff. That makes no sense. But at least I'm safe here. Wait, I hear rustling. That's not good. Hey, I see Harold Kleiner walking in the bushes. Who is Harold Kleiner? We don't know. He doesn't bother explaining. He bothers explaining certain things, but not things that actually kind of matter. Wait, why is there blood on his face? It might be that figure again. I'm going to see. That's how a lot of people die in these. I do hope you realize that. June 28th, 2011. I bought a new house today. It's 2 stories tall, and it's fireproof this time. Is there such a thing as a fireproof house? Other than maybe a metal one? I'm glad I decided to stick to this one. One of my friends, Jim Forrester, thank you for telling us who he is this time, actually remembered Happy Appy. He said there were more episodes I forgot. Well, this just wouldn't be interesting if there were only actually 10 episodes, were there? Turns out the most violent episodes were actually at the end. The entire series was supposed to have 25 episodes, plus a TV movie. No one mentioned it because Jim had the only surviving tapes. That I got pulled after a month, which would have only been maybe like 10 episodes, not like 5 episodes. 10 mini episodes, but within the 2 doublets it'd be, 5. You get what I mean. But hey, if you're gonna contradict yourself, that's fine with me. The series got more violent slowly. He sent me a disc with fragments of Happy Appy episode. Here's what they are. The first one starts out with a school bell ringing. Happy Appy is standing next to a kid. The kid says that he can't understand math. The teacher said, "Class is dismissed." Then Happy sings a math song. It is distorted, but I could make out these lyrics. 2 minus 1 and then your homework is done. I don't think that helps with math at all. I'm 21 and that doesn't help me with my math at all. After that the kids say, "Wow, thanks, Happy Appy." The next fragment was one of those violent episodes. They were mixed clips, but here's what happens in order. Actually, there's a very small actual clip off to the side here. I'm going to play it. I won't be able to hear it because my mic cancels out all sound because it takes over all my audio things on my computer. But if you're decided to read along, which you can, I do leave the link in the descriptions every time. So if you have been reading along this time and you see the little video thing, play it along with me and let's see what happens. And if not, then I'll just describe it to you. Okay, let's see here. Added by some guy 123, huh? Okay, some guy 123. Let's see what you got. Okay, a little smiling red ball. In darkness, I can't see very well because light not good. Is that supposed to be happy? Because if so, he doesn't look that good. I mean, even the picture looks better. I'm assuming the sound would probably help me here, but it's not, because this is all just needless. I'm wondering if it's supposed to be this blocky or if it's my computer running slow. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Something about a map. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. It's over. Everyone seems pretty pissed. I hope you all appreciated the joke, because I'm pretty sure nothing is actually happening here, because I can't even really see, personally. Maybe it's just me? I don't know. Okay, let's see what's-his-face actually wrote. Here's what happens in order. 3 kids were crying so loud it was almost painful to see. Maybe painful to hear, as they're crying so loud, not crying so bright. I know that doesn't make sense, but bear with me. Happy Appy and 2 other kids were trying to help the kids. The kids were crying because their families were gone. They died. The 2 kids comforted the other 3 kids, and 3 kids left. But Happy had this weird, perverted, nearing the borders of greediness expression. He said, "Come with me!" The 3 kids followed Happy into the building. He then left it with bags of money. 3 kids were screaming for help again. Where did the bag of money come from? You need to explain this shit. It does not say 3 rich kids. It does not say 2 other rich kids. They were just kids. Where did the bag of money come from? I thought he was a murderer. Real murderers don't care about money. They just care about the madness. Depending. But still, it's fucking stupid. You have to agree with me there. There were more to be seen. There was one fragment of a somewhat violent episode. Happy was putting a bandage on a kid's arm. In the far corner of his pocket, a needle with green fluids was seen. He's an apple, he wears no clothes, he has no pockets. Happy then put the needle into the kid, knocking him out. He then dragged him to his van, and a chainsaw was heard. The DVD just stopped. Oh, you want to know more about the figure? Not really. I was kind of more curious what happened after the DVD stopped, but if you want to talk about the figure, okay. First, turns out he was here, so I got out of there. Besides, I gave him a nickname, Forensic with a Z, because adding a Z to anything makes it hip. Oh, this is so fucking stupid. Which is better than calling him the figure. Actually, the figure actually sounds the least interesting. I mean, hell, Michael Myers was originally called just The Shape when the movies were still going to be an anthological series. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not reading a script right now, so I'm thinking of everything off the top of my head. When I saw him 17 days ago, he seemed to have fingers with claws. I mean like he had retractable claws in his fingers. His fingers were just very sharp. Good, because then me and Mr. Kruger here, we're going to have a word with you. I also got a good look at how he ran. Who cares about how he runs? You don't think about run cycles when you're fucking reading a story, ever. Have you guys? Have you really? Have you ever read a Stephen King novel and wondered how the hell Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining ran? Word for word. Seriously, think to yourself. Have you read a Harry Potter novel and wonder exactly how Albus Dumbledore ran when he had to do something? Seriously, think this to yourselves. He seems to be hunchbacked, which means he would be taller when he would be standing up straight. I say about 6'9", although you could speculate that because I don't have a picture of him. Of course you don't, because he's not real. I fall into madness. Okay, July 14th, 2011. We skipped my birthday. Boring. I was hoping my birthday would be in this story. Jim Forrester, a man who used to work on Happy Appy, just called me. Yes, you mentioned him earlier, but you didn't say anything about him. Just called me telling me that Blair Myers, the man who voiced Happy Appy and star of Fright House Screamers, need to research that, sounds interesting. So Fright House Screamers is other genius's idea. Had died in his town. The body had 3 claw marks on his chest, surprise, surprise, with one of them puncturing his heart. I would have guessed forensic would have clawed him. However, Blair said that they were made by a being that would have had extremely sharp claws, because it managed to put a nice scratch on one of his ribs. Weren't you talking to Jim? You were talking to Jim, and now you're calling him Blair, because Blair is the one that is dead. July 15th, 2011. Jim Forrester just gave me a DVD with 3 new episodes, including what could be part 2 of the Happy Appy TV movie. Unfortunately, they're corrupt as shit because they need cleaning. I'm literally just sitting here shaking my head because... yeah, let's just move on. I've got July 17th, 2011, sorry. I've got most of it working. Here's what happens. The first one was the episode I mentioned that had Happy and the needle. It started out with what I said, and after Happy chainsawed the kid, he then drove off and went to a crashed plane, where the second scene I mentioned happened. You know, the one that had the 3 kids. Sure. After that, he was playing with some kids, then his skin peeled off like an orange peeler was being used on him, revealing a rotten apple core. The skin then lands on a kid like a blanket. The show then ended. What does that have to do with anything? What does it possibly add that his apple skin peeled off and landed on a kid? What fear is there in an apple? Honestly, who picked this villain? Like, even if I read the good version, the version I'm sure is much better than this, because I did read it a little bit and it did look slightly better written. You just picked a poor character to work with, because I just can't be scared of an apple. I can't. I'm trying so hard. Like, really. Sorry. When I read these, I am trying to be cynical, because it's my show, and that's the purpose of my show. But then, part of me, deep down, always wants these to surprise me. Part of me really wants them to scare me just a little bit. But with an apple as our antagonist, I just can't. I just can't. And just... his skin peeled off and fell on a kid. The end. Then what? What does that do? What does that add? What is the point? Moving on. The next one was the full classroom episode. Oh, the math one, I'm assuming. What I said happened, but with better video. After that, Happy goes into a science class, where he sings an even worse song that definitely doesn't help any kids. Where a kid's playing with a Bunsen burner, but accidentally gets burnt. Of course, because everyone in this show gets injured, because that's the point of the show for some stupid reason. Happy then puts an ice pack on the kid's burn, and the kid thanks him. Then Happy notices some kid getting bullied on by an older kid. An older kid. I don't know why his uhs are bugging me. They usually don't, but this one, I don't know. Maybe I'm just picking on him for funsies, I don't know. Happy then told him to not give up. Why didn't Happy just kill the bully? That would have actually been interesting or cool a little bit. The kid then runs into a classroom, probably to tell a teacher what happened. It then ended. These episodes are so boring. I mean, like, I was complaining about the apple thing, yeah, but another thing is, what's actually happening in the show is so boring, I don't even think Noggin would pick it up. Like, it's like 5 seconds long. It usually is Appy doing something violent and then doing something normal. And then it just sort of abruptly ends because of no reason. And I don't know. I just don't feel it's trying so hard to be sort of a conspiracy, creepy story that it's just cutting itself off, making it not give us enough to make sense. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm gonna try and save most of this for my little what's wrong with this when I finally finish this stupid story, but I suppose I should just continue reading and hopefully get through this as fast as possible. Finally, I saw part 2 of the Happy Appy movie. It started out with Happy Appy driving his van on a road, of course, because he has a van. That's what he does. He drives in the van. Then a kid throws a rock onto the road. Not a small pebble. No, I'm talking about a big rock. Interesting. Strong kid. Then Happy's van rolls over the rock, and the van crashes. And when I mean crash, I mean actual footage of a car crash. You know, rather than just... Never mind, don't even bother. I'm not even going to bother with the sarcasm here. After that, some kids went over to the burning wreckage of Happy's van, where Happy Appy is shouting, "Get me out!" When this happens, the happy-go-lucky music that plays normally is replaced by parts of Revolution 9, reversed, because everything is scary in reverse. Ever since they did fucking Song of Unhealing for Ben Drowned, everyone wants to reverse their music. And what is Revolution 9? I don't know what that is. I'm sure some of you do, but I don't know, I'm just not impressed. One of the kids says, "There, his hat, his hat." Are you reading fucking Frosty the Snowman now, or what? What is this hat? And a cat cuts to Happy's bloody stem. It then screamed, which was loud enough to make someone's ear bleed. Did yours? The mouth had some bloody teeth on it, and another kid says, his body, his body." Why aren't these kids doing anything if they actually give a shit about Happy? Like, seriously. Happy's body was badly cut up, with big enough cuts to make blood pour out of it. Isn't he an apple? Haven't we already, explained this when his skin, quote-unquote, fell off, and it showed us a rotten apple core? Why would he be bleeding? You're contradicting yourself on every turn. His eyeballs were dangling out of the socket, while his teeth were shattered. His left arm was cut off, bone visible, with blood squirting out of the stump, while both of his legs were broken. This is just trying way too hard just to be gory, to be scary. Which is, to me, a pathetic use of trying to be scary. He tried to crawl out with his only non-broken, decapitated arm. Finally, Happy died, while screaming to weird sci-fi noises, because the sci-fi noises are apparently necessary in a Happy Appy story. After that scene, it just showed the road with mashed-up van next to his body. After that, it cut to a funeral where the kids were actually crying over Happy's dead body. One kid said, "Why, Happy, why?" rather than just saying, "Thank you God, the story's finally over," but not really, because it lasts till November, and we're barely in July. The final shot before the credits was the dead Happy, with blood on his broken teeth. Instead of the theme song playing, a dark carnival-y music played, with pieces of the reversed Revolution 9 and Napoleon 14th's "They're Coming to Take Me Away, haha." This guy's also trying way too hard to be cool at the same time as being interesting or scary. A narrator said, "His stomach was in two that day. There were two. This is none now. He's there. He's getting next to his sister with all he knows. And finally, he ceased to work in the underworld." Guess what the narrator was talking over? Happy Appy with a bloodied scalpel in one hand and a bloodied X-Acto in the other hand. It slowly panned to the skin of the disguise Happy was under, like the magic trick episode. But it just stopped. None of that made sense. I literally just read nonsense. I was reading word for word, and absolutely everything that sounded out of my mouth sounded like I was messing up. But no, that's literally what it says. Except for my slight, flubs of my mild dyslexia. And it's just... none of that made sense. None of that seemed to have a point. I don't really know what happened at all. Like, Happy died, and then there was a narrator for some reason, and I guess he's alive, really? I'm just so confused. Okay, we're actually getting close to running out of time for this part here, so we're just going to read the next little scene, and we'll call it. Okay, the next two are really short, so I'll just read the next two, and then we'll call it. July 24th, 2011. It's been 7 days since I watched part 2 of the TV movie. I still can't get the photorealistic body of Happy out of my head. You never said it was photorealistic before, but now you are, so splendid. Well, guess what? Someone claimed to have the first part, so I asked him to mail it to me. Turns out he was right. Here's what happened. Oh boy. I start with the same carnival theme with distorted voices. You didn't say they had distorted voices before, but now they're there. Wonderful. The intro was spotted with giant flashes, and when the original intro would play, it went straight to Happy Appy dying from an unknown disease. He died in the second part. What is this? When he talks, his lips perfectly synced with, "They're going to take me away." You're just trying way too hard to be cool. It then shot to one of the 5-year-olds. He was trying to cry because Happy was dying, but he didn't cry tears, he cried blood. No joking. Really, I totally thought this was just a huge joke at my expense. Thank you for clarifying that for me. It then played a sad piano after another kid with a high-pitched voice said, "They're coming to take me away." Why do you keep referring to this song? It's supposed to be kind of a goofy song, and you're throwing it into this serious, supposed to be scary story. Explain that to me. It then showed Happy coughing up blood. Then he went into a surgery room. What followed was an hour of stop-motion surgery. It was so horrifying but so compelling. How did they make such good surgery scene with puppets? After that, Happy was released on a wheelchair, and the children said, "Are you better? Can you tell I don't care anymore? Can you guys tell I just don't care?" Happy said, "Yes, my nice friends," and gave them a big hug. After that, it faded to a title that said 3 months later, and started to fade in the second part of the TV movie, but it was cut. July 26th, 2011. Today I went to a yard sale and I saw a VHS called HA Bonus Features. Could it please just be Hey Arnold instead? I bought it for the cheap price of 50 cents. After that I decided to play it. Unfortunately it was screwed up because it made some wired alien-y noises. I'm sorry, I should read it as he wrote it. It made 5 whooshes and a weird noise. I decided to decode it, and after 2 hours of decoding, I heard, "Decode what? They're just noises. And you said you don't even have all your possessions anymore because your house burnt down. How are you possibly able to decode anything?" Decoding it, he heard, "Don't trust Happy Appy. He will murder you. He is a killer. Never trust him." Could that have been a kid trying to warn us about Happy Appy? God, I hope so. However, we won't know until next time, because I am a bit over time, more than I wanted to be anyway. But I suppose I ranted quite a bit, so it adds up. Anyway, I will see you in the next one, guys, and if you have any suggestions for a story after I finish this, and the other 2 suggestions I have lined up, please leave them in the comments below, and we will continue Happy Appy in the next one.